Holy crap. I have quite a few decks. So I think eventually I'll do a deck collection video. I didn't realize I need to organize my decks, that's why they're all out. But I wanted to do another video for the whole thing I was doing about, you know, us, well, me especially, kind of giving up on the things I like most when I'm kind of down and out and feeling blue, and this time of year is one time where that does happen. And I wanted the focus to be on the spirituality, witchcraft, and tarot and cartomancy. And so I've kind of done, you know, the incense and the candles and all that, and I'm a little out of breath because I had this on pause. What I want to do is talk about tarot. I think I have one oracle deck that I snagged off the bed to kind of show. Now, sometimes you don't want to necessarily face the cards. If you're a professional tarot reader, this can be of great difficulty, but the nice thing is you can choose the decks in which you work with clients, so it's going to be solely up to you. But you know, if you read for yourself, there may be times where you just look at, you know, it's like, I don't want to work with these decks, I don't want to work with some of them. And it brings me back to a couple videos that are older. I'll try and put a link down below. I know I'm kind of sitting up. And it has to do with Katey Flowers. She did a video talking about nice wash decks because she saw in a thread on a Facebook group someone calling certain decks nice washed, meaning they weren't, they didn't have the traditional symbolism and the esoteric kind of, you know, crap that people think has to be in every single tarot deck. And she said, you know, and one of the decks they called nice wash was the Wild Unknown. And I'm like, I don't think so. But it's because the symbolism is not traditional, and it's not, it's, you know, it varies. So she did that deck, and she talked about why you would use decks that weren't deeply symbolic and, you know, sometimes a little bit harsh. And Kelly from The Truth and Story also did a video where she referred to them as hug decks, and she has her own hug decks. And she talked about how her daughter does not like the imagery of the Ten of Swords. So what Kelly does is she does not read with decks with that traditional symbolism of the Ten of Swords, for her daughter anyway. And she also talked about a little bit about the loss of her son, and there's times of the year, and I believe this time of year is one of those times, and I believe March as well, where she has real difficulty with facing the cards. And so she has decks that just kind of, she can get a good reading from, but they kind of just, they do it in a gentle way and kind of give you a hug at the same time. So that's what made me think about this and how important it is sometimes to, in order to stay connected with our reading practices, to have decks that feel approachable during this time of year. I mean, I don't have Tarot of the Vampires by Ian Daniels, I believe it's his name, because I don't really care for vampire decks. I think, you know, there's a bit of violence in them. I do have the Ludi Lescott, I do have the Favoli, I do have the Night Sun, I have Deviant Moon, and I do love those decks. But there are times when I do not want to see those decks. So what do? I personally will choose decks that I enjoy looking at during a reading. So you're going to see me pop down because all my cards are on the floor. So here's a few of them. There we go. We'll grab these. Okay. One of them that I'm actually reading with right now, and I know people are going to poo-poo it, but it reminds me of Christmas, is the Guardian Angels Tarot. Now, yes, it has Doreen Virtue's name on it. We know anything she put her name on made her money, and that Radley Valentine was really the one that has a great deal of love for tarot. And I use these because each card kind of reminds you of Christmas cards, like traditional Christmas cards. Here's the backs. And they're just very kind of sweet with the message on down below, because sometimes, you know, you don't want to see an impaled heart, you don't want to see an impaled person, you don't want to see bodies falling to their death from a tower that was struck by lightning. You want something a little gentler, because it's hard to sometimes face what's going on. Another deck, again, yeah, her name's on it. You know, it's all about Radley Valentine. Now, I do have the fairy one, and I do like it, and I think it's very pretty. But I don't know. And here, I'll show you a reason why I hate gilding sometimes, but I'll live with it. Here's one of the cards. Oh, here's the back. If you can see on, it's basically the Hierophant. I don't know if you can see. There's damage to the top of the card. It scratches from the silver gilding on the sides of the edges of the cards. It happens. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does. But again, this is a gentler deck. Very vibrant. Kind of makes you feel a little bit good inside if you have to do any readings and work with it. Now I have to put these up because my lap's getting covered. Now you can use decks that might just be like a little whimsical. One I don't have is the Happy Tarot. That's probably a good one because it's just happy. Another one that's just cute is the Gummy Bear Tarot. I mean, even if the little gummy bear is being impaled by swords, it's still cute because it's a gummy bear. So why not? Here's a deck that I actually have 2 copies of. And the symbolism, you know, you can get, I do enjoy reading with it. And it's cute, and it's pretty, and it's whimsical. And that's Tarot of a Moon Garden. This is by, oh, never mind. I can't pronounce that last name. It's from US Game Systems. Here's the back. And again, it's like all unicorns. And here's the 3 of Swords. Perfect. Look at that. Nothing harsh. It's butterflies. Who doesn't love butterflies? This is actually a cute lover's card. I mean, it's just whimsical. It's sweet. It's colorful. It doesn't come off as harsh. It can give you good readings. It does have interesting little bits of symbolism within the cards. Yeah. So it's a deck you can work with, get a reading, and you're able to face it because it doesn't have some of that harsh symbolism that some of the other decks do. Now, another deck that I like working with because it makes me smile, and by the way, I'm getting the groovy version, and that is the Trip and Wait. And the reason I like this one is because it is colorful as hell. I mean, it's pretty. That one's not so colorful. I mean, come on. Like Technicolor Dreamcoat right here. And again, I don't know why the 3 of Swords is coming up so much for me. Okay. There you go. That's not as difficult to look at as, say, the standard. I mean, this is a very bright, colorful deck. And sometimes that's what you need. Having those bright colors can help boost your mood, and you can face the deck. Now, with all that said, and there's numerous decks, do you have to do tarot readings or oracle readings during a time when you're down? No, you don't. You don't have to do readings unless you're a professional tarot reader. Then it's how you make money. But for you personally, you don't have to do readings. Don't worry about it. But you can still stay connected with your cards. Again, you can pull these decks that I've shown out and just look at them. Or you can choose other decks that are just pretty. One that's sitting over there on that pile of decks is the Shadowscapes. A lot of people don't work with it because they say it's beautiful, it's lovely, it's just too detailed. Well, this is a good time for you to just pull it out and look at it. Just look at the art. Enjoy the art. Maybe you'll pick up some symbolism that you never thought about before associated with each of these cards. So it's a good time to just look at it. And then there's some others. Okay. Here's one. And again, this would probably be a good one to read with. But at the same time, some people, it's ethereal, is The Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reid. It is a beautiful deck. Here's the backs. Very green and Christmassy. But the art in her decks are always beautiful. So even her oracle decks, if you want something to work with, they are always good, and they make you feel good, and they can give you good readings. A lot of people don't care for the Good Tarot. They say it's more like an oracle deck. That's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine, so I won't go into that. But again, this is a deck where you could just pick up the cards and look at them and just enjoy the art and maybe get a message. Who knows? A deck that I love, and it was part of my nostalgia decks, was the Tarot Mucha. I love it because I love the Art Nouveau style, but I do have an issue. I have a hard time reading with it because it's so pretty, and this is a deck where I can just pull it out and just look at the art and enjoy it and start to feel good. It's the same with the Trip and Wait. I can just look at that deck and feel just happy and, you know, just enjoy it. I mean, even this, that's just beautiful. This whole deck is beautiful. Another one that's Art Nouveau. I don't have the Ethereal Visions. I hope to someday, for sure. One, and let me say, I had been drinking. It was Easter. I drank too many mimosas on an empty stomach, and I went to Amazon and I bought this deck. And I'll tell you what, I don't think I would ever read with it. Well, I mean, I could read with it because I know the meanings of the cards, but with that said, it's not a deck where it really has any of the symbolism, so it wouldn't be a very good beginner deck at all. I wouldn't recommend it. And that is the Tarot Art Nouveau. This is from, it's Antonia oh, screw it, I'm bad with names. Oh, it's a Lo Scarabeo. I knew it was, but I wanted to double check. Again, here's the backs. And if you just want to look at art and feel a little bit better, this is one that will do that. I mean, here's the Eight of Swords. It's not that harsh. Nice Lover's card. You have the Art Nouveau style. So if there's an art style that you really, really like, maybe the deck isn't one that's very good to read with, this is the time of year to pull it out and just look at it and enjoy the art. And that could just be kind of like any deck that makes you feel good. And that's the whole point is, and I didn't even bring it. Oh, whatever. I thought I brought over a Oracle deck. I didn't. But that's the point I'm trying to make, is how do you engage with something you love when you're in a mood to where you can't face it, and look more for the beauty within it and what gives you joy and what makes you happy. And you can do that, and that's why I think there really is just so many different tarot decks. I mean, you saw my bed. That ain't even close to every tarot deck that there is. It just isn't. So you can get decks that maybe you only read with for yourself, that are a little gentler during those times, or you can get those decks that are just, the art is beautiful and you love them, and you just keep a hold on to them just for this time, so you can just look and enjoy the art and the beauty of the deck without having to read with it. Because again, if you do not feel up for a reading or reading for yourself, you don't have to. But by taking those cards and holding them and looking through them and just enjoying them for their art, and they are part of your collection, it will keep that connection with your practice, and you won't feel like you've completely lost it. So that's all I have for this video. This video will be up after the video I'm going to make, so if it seems a little odd, yes, I have more decks over there on my altar. So that's it for this video. Sorry that I was gone for a while. I'll kind of explain it later. Much love and blessings. Bye.